Hello friends, I'm a cloud solutions architect at Microsoft and my aim is to empower every single person to be better at technical interviews. Keeping with that goal in mind, today we are going to do a very interesting LeetCode problem called majority element. And if we see some of the popular companies who have already asked this question, there are companies like Amazon, Bloomberg, Adobe, Google, Apple, Microsoft, Uber, Facebook, ByteDance and Flipkart. So that's why I'm paying my utmost attention. I hope you also enjoy the video. This is a LeetCode easy problem and also a very well-liked problem on LeetCode. Basically, we are given an integer array of the size n and we need to return the majority element. Now we are given the definition of what a majority element is, and basically any elements that appears more than half of the times in the given array, we can consider that to be a majority element, and we are guaranteed that the majority element always exists inside any given array. So this is the whole problem statement. If we see a couple of examples, in this case, the given array is of size 3 and the element 3 actually appeared twice, which means more than half of the time. So basically 3 is the answer we need to return. If we take a look at the second example, basically the element 2 appears 4 times and element 1 appear 3 times. So since 2 is appearing like more than half of the times, we are going to return 2 as the answer. And this is the whole problem statement. This is very simple problem to understand, and basically the answer is also going to be very simple. Suppose we are given an input n that looks like this one. We are going to use the same example. So if the given input is like 2, 2, 1, 1 and 1 and also 2 and 2. So in this case, the answer is quite simple. Whichever element is occurring more than half of the times or most of the times is going to be the answer. We already know that what is the size of this given n. In this case, the size of this given n is actually 7. Okay, so we already know that the size is 7, which means any element has to appear more than 7 divided by 2. So 7 divided by 2 is going to be 3.5. So if we use like the floor value, basically the element has to appear more than 3 times, which means any element that appears 4 or more times is going to be the answer. Now the logic is quite simple. We are simply going to, using this n, create a hash map. Now inside this hash map, we are going to use two elements, two items. First item is the key and second item is the value. As the key, we are going to use the unique values that are present inside this given input. So if the value has not appeared, we will create a new entry inside the hash map. If the value has already appeared, we will just use that value. And as its subsequent value, we are going to basically count the number of occurrences. So that is going to give us that how many times any particular number has appeared. If we just keep iterating for this particular example, first we will see value number 2 does not exist. So we will create a new entry over here called 2. And currently we have only received one occurrence of 2. Then again 2. So 2 already exists. And since it already exists, we are going to update the number of occurrences. So currently 2 has 2 occurrences. Now the value is 1. So 1 does not have any occurrence. So basically we are going to add one more entry, 1 over here. And current occurrence is 1. Now at this particular position, currently 1 appears 2 times. So again, we are going to have 1 appearing 2 times. And then eventually 1 would appear 3 times. So basically 1 is going to appear 3 times. Now we are done with all of these elements. Now currently we are at this particular position. So basically 2 is appearing again. So now 2 is going to appear 2 more times, which means eventually the hash map is only going to have 2 values, which these entries. And we can clearly see that 2 is the value that appears 4 times. So 2 has to be the majority element and we are going to return 2 as the answer. And this is a very simple problem. So that is why this is an easy problem. And if we see time and space complexity in this case, basically the time complexity is actually going to be big O of n and the space complexity is also going to be big O of n because we will have to create this new additional hash map. So now let's move on to the coding. So today I'm running short on time, so basically I'm just going to explain the code rather than spend time entirely writing it. So in this code, basically we are using a separate helper method called countNums that takes in the any input integer array, and then we create a new hash map, and basically we return a hash map that contains the number of occurrences of any particular numbers input array. So what we are doing is, first of all, we are initializing a counts hash map. Now inside the counts hash map, we are iterating over the given input nums, and we are checking that if if it contains the key, basically we create a new value and add its occurrence as 1. If the key already exists, we simply update the number of count, or like basically we update the number of occurrences inside the hash map, and then in the end we return the counts hash map that contains the values of all the unique values inside the nums array and also their occurrences. After that, from our main method, majority element method, basically we initialize a new hash map and we call our count nums method with the nums as the input. So this is going to populate our counts array. Once the count array has been populated, our aim is to find the value that contains the most occurrences. So basically we are simply going to create a new majority entry array, and we are going to run a for loop for the given input array, and we are going to check that which element contains the most entries, and whichever it is, we are simply going to add that, and in the end we are going to return that particular element. And that's it. Let's try to run this code. Okay, seems like our solution is working as expected. Let's submit this code. And our code runs decently efficiently compared to other solutions, because for this particular solution there can be like at least 10 different ways you can solve this problem, and some ways are much more efficient. So you can, if you put some thought to it, you can also find the solution. Now as always, I'm going to post this in the comments so you can check it out from there. Thank you.